Today we'll understand how to create a data entry sheet. So for that we are going to look at the form E, that is the HRG registration form. So this is nothing but the form A. So some of the important information from the form A is captured in form E. So we'll keep this registration form for a reference. Okay. The first step before doing the data entry, so we need to understand that the first row should always be the column headings. In this case, since the headings are in the second row, we are going to copy this and put it into another sheet here. So we can give a shading to this. Okay. Now, so this will be our data entry sheet. So let's start entering the data here. So I have clicked on the cell A2. We'll enter the serial number, name of the HRG. So I'm entering Matthew, the unique ID number. So how are we entering the unique ID number? So as per the HRG registration form, we need to follow this code, that is the state code, district code, town code, TI code, and the category of HRG and HRG ID code. This is a 4-digit number. For now, in our practice section, we will enter only the last, we'll only consider the last 4-digit as the ID. So here we are going to enter 1 here. So I will tell you like the reason, will come back later on why we are entering only the last 4-digit here. This is basically for the ease of entry, and typology of the IDU, community member is IDU, and subcategory of the IDU community members. So what do we enter here? Let's refer back to our HRG registration form. Let's see where that information is. Yes, so this is this HRG subgroup. For IDU we have 1 daily injectors, 2 non-daily injectors. So we can enter 1 here. For ease of data entry, it is always better to enter only the codes. We need not enter the full information here. 1 daily injectors, we can just mention the code because we know 1 means daily injector, 2 means non-daily injector. Okay. So next, coming to the name of the hotspot, we'll enter as bus stand. There is one issue here. Sometimes what happens, the same place can be written in different ways. Bus stand can be written as bus stand, bus station. So this would create confusion whether this is the same place or it's a different place. So in order to avoid that, it's always good to create a list whenever we are entering data. It's wherever possible we should create the list. So we can create a list of hotspot here. For that, we'll scroll back a little more towards the right. Let's come to the cell AA. So we'll enter the list of hot spots. So I'm entering bus stand, railway station is another hotspot. Then so under bridge and flyover. So we have a list of 4 hotspots. Let us see how we can pull that list information here. For that, in your menu, go to data. You have data validation. Click on the data validation. In the validation criteria, allow any value is there. Let us now select the list. When we select the list, it is asking what is the source here. Click on this source icon to select the range. So we are selecting the list of the hotspot. So you can note that I have not selected the heading of the hotspot. If you want to give an input message, you can give. Select hotspot, error message. You want to give, you can give invalid. Select from the list. Let's click OK. Now, yeah, we can see here there is a drop down menu that is created from where we can select. So this is a good practice to avoid issues by entering like different places, name of the places in different ways. So now if we enter invalid data here, if I enter bus stand, this is not going to accept. It is telling select from the list, retry. So suppose I enter bus stand, it is going to accept. And then we have the pin code, and we'll come to the age 25. So what if we are going to enter 120? Should the system accept? No. So how do we validate? Let's again come back to the data validation. Input will select whole number. This should be between 15 and 60. Okay, let's click OK. So now let us enter 120. It is telling not accepted. 35 is accepted. Let's enter 14. Again, it's not accepting. So rather than giving this message, we can provide a meaningful message here. Age should be between 15 and 60. Invalid age should be between 15 and 60. Let us click OK. Yeah, so it is telling as soon as my cursor comes here, it tells that it should be of this range. I'm entering 65. So it is telling age should be between 15 and 60. Okay. So this is one way of validating the information. but sometimes we may see that like we can use other types of validation also. Let's do one thing, let's remove the validation. How to remove the validation? Go to data, validation, and in the settings click any value. So it will automatically accept any values. Click OK. So here it is not showing any error. So another way is, what we can do, we can apply a conditional formatting. So when the value is not between 15 to 60, we can give maybe orange shade. Okay, let's click OK. Okay, so it is, when the value is not between 15 and 60, it is going to highlight. Even with the blank cells, it is highlighting a different color. Let's enter 25. Yes, you see it is accepting. So now if we enter 65, so this is another way of validating. It will highlight whenever invalid value is entered. Let's again come to the sex. Here we have in our registration form for male, M is the code. We can enter M, and address you can enter 101 bus stand Kohima. Okay, so you want to wrap this cell, you can click format and wrap text. Okay. Yeah, next the important thing is entering the date of registration. In our country, what format we follow is the DD YYYY. So DD is the date, is the month, and YYYY is the year. So we should enter always, it is highly recommended that we enter the date in this particular format. Let me enter the date here, 15 June 2016. So when we enter the correct date in the correct format, automatically it will convert into the system date format. We need to understand that it is important that even the system date format is also in the DDMMYY format. So here if you see the date here, the date itself is showing this is DD is the day, July is the month, and 16 is the year. So DDMMYY is the format. How to change the system date format? For that we need to go to the control panel. So in the control panel you have the region and language. Maybe in XP you will have similarly as regional and language settings. So click on region and language. The format you have to select here DDMMY. So this is the system date format, and even the long date format as DDMMYY. So click apply and OK.